everyone. Welcome to the show. We have another great edition of Bring It in the House podcast show where we spotlight musicians, entertainers, artists, and leaders. Get your meal. And we have a meal for you every Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on Bring It in the House podcast show. I'm your host, Millie Mills. And this week, this young man is super extraordinary. Like all my guests are, he's a creator, entrepreneur, executive producer. Let's give it up for the multi-talented Mr. Reggie Bias. Yay, Reggie! Woo, 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 woo,
Give it
woo.
up, give it up.
How
Thank you.
I know, man. You are amazing. I mean, your publicist, Desiree, she shared a lot of information with us, and I'm like, wow, this guy here is really doing major things, making big moves. Yay.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
are you
yeah.
from
We trying.
originally? We like to start out with a shout out to your native town.
Yeah, I'm from the Bronx, New
Go ahead.
York. Yeah, New York
All
City.
right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
that's amazing. Congratulations on all your success. And
Thank
how
you,
long
thank
you
you. I'm
been
feeling the
doing
love.
this?
I'm
You've been
feeling.
in it for a minute, I see.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about Cadolts is, that's the name of the show. Cadolts. Is we actually we streaming on
Uh-huh.
Tonic TV right now. We also streaming on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, but we got a non-exclusive with Tonic, and so we up there. And so we moving. It's
Terrific.
slow movement, but it's still moving. We moving, so that's what I like, and
Yes. Yes.
we moving in the right direction.
Yes. So if you guys are just tuning in, this is the exactly. This is Reggie. He's the creative executive producer for Kidults. Now, Kidults sounds like this is a show that's kind of pleasing to both kids and adults. Am I right, Reggie?
Well,
Is that
actually, no.
right?
I mean, kids can watch it, but it's not for kids. It's basically it's a show about four New Yorkers living, working, dating in New York City that needs to grow up and get their stuff together. That's why it tends to
Uh,
work adults. And it's so crazy because I remember when I came up with that word. I'm telling you, I came up with
mhm.
that word, adults. It was nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing, adults here, adults there, and then I actually had a website before,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it was one of those WordPress websites, something like that, whatever.
Mhm.
So people can write you back and talk to you, whatever. So I remember getting into it, and this was like years ago. I remember getting into it with someone, and it was like, "You didn't come up with that word. How did you?" And it was like a whole thing, and I was like, "So, you know, it is what it is." But the journey is just is that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. What it's all. And
Yeah.
when did you kick off Kidults? When did it kick off? Your first launch?
Well, it's so crazy because you know man, we going back when I first decided to do Cadolts. I based it off a real life situation that I had. So if you ever go and watch the first episode of Cadolts, that's a real situation that really happened. And basically what happened was that I found out that my girlfriend was cheating at the time, and how I found out was her boyfriend called me and told me that he was doing all these crazy things with her and all this stuff, and it was just to find out, just to see what I was doing with her, whatever, blah blah blah. And he claimed he didn't know about me. And so logically, you go to your friends and you tell your friends, look, this happened, da da da. So they got all type of advice for you. You need to do this, you need to do that. And one of my friends is like, well, you should call him
Mm-hmm.
back and hit him with the same thing. And that's what I did. And then it was a whole disaster. So then when I decided, yeah, well, I was doing this with her, I was doing that with her, and that's when he told me everything. And that's when I was like, oh no, no, stop. I don't want to hear it. You got it. You know what I'm saying? That's when he really started telling me, what was going on. So,
Yeah.
that's why you gotta be
So,
careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
yeah, that's so true, Reggie. And it
Yeah.
kicked off just like that, huh?
Yeah, and
Wow.
yeah, so I decided, after that, I knew I wanted to do something, and I'm one of them type people that, I like to gather information, So, I kind
Mm-hmm.
of knew what I wanted to do. So when I actually decided to go write Cadotes, it all just came out. I mean, I just one Saturday I sat down at the computer, and next thing you know, I had 4 or 5 episodes. Like it just all came out
Wow.
of me, and it was
Just
amazing. So then it was like, okay, what's the process to shoot? And then because it was
mm-hmm.
different back, it was different a little bit back then. They didn't have,
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't as easy. I won't say easy, but it's a lot more. Well, yeah, it's a lot more easier to
Yeah.
shoot things these days. You know how it is with the podcast. If you try to do this like 15 years ago, you
Yeah.
got to go to a real studio. I might have to fly out to where you at. But now with
Mm-hmm.
technology
Mm-hmm.
and the way things are,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it makes things a lot easier. I always tell people this, just remember this,
Easier.
your iPhone shoots better than,
Yeah.
you know, the same cameras they use to shoot the Cosby Show with, the same cameras they use to shoot,
Yeah.
a different world or Dallas or whatever y'all like, whatever, Full House, whatever
Mm-hmm.
them shows you like.
Yeah.
Your iPhone shoots better than that. So, you already at a good pace, at a good start if you just get started.
If you just get started, that's key right there. That's rich. Getting
Yeah.
started is the thing. Oh
Yeah, you
my
got to get started,
gosh.
and
So
you got to
Reggie,
pray. You got to pray too. Put God
you
first, and
first. That's
then get
it.
started. Let him set it
That's
out
it,
for you.
Reggie.
Yeah.
That's it. Because and that's so rich what you're saying, because a lot of times we set out to do things on our own and we didn't consult, we didn't pray about it, and you might be on a journey that you weren't even meant to be on, and things that's why things don't go right for you
I mean, listen,
sometimes. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time, I had at times I had to stop, and then
Mm-hmm.
I went back again, then stopped, then went back again. But all of that is a part of
Mm-hmm.
the process. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
stopping, going, stopping again, going, pivoting,
Mm-hmm.
all that's a part
Mm-hmm.
of the process. So as long as you
Process.
just
It is.
keep going, that's just the key. One of the things one of my mentors, that I looked up to, was Jay Z. Puff was
Uh-huh.
one of my mentors. Is one of my mentors too. But I look up to these guys that came out from where I came from, that did it on their own. And the key
Mm-hmm.
component that Jay always says to me that always stick out is that the key was he just never stopped. He just kept going, you know, and that's the
That's
key.
good.
You
Keep
just
going.
gotta don't stop, just
Mm-hmm.
keep going. And he said that was the smartest thing they ever
Mm-hmm.
did, and I believe that.
Oh yeah, you got to keep putting your hands to it. Otherwise, you won't see the harvest when that's supposed
Yeah,
to
of
come
course.
in. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's good to, wow, you got some really powerful mentors in your day, I hear. Wow, that's amazing.
Well,
But
nah, I
you
mean, listen,
living, hmm
listen.
I
Here's
was gonna
my thing.
say
I was in
living
the,
in New York.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Listen,
you're
here's
in
my
New
thing.
York though.
Yeah, but here's my thing. You gotta understand something. The key. I think the key to a lot of this stuff. I think the key is when you watch other people that went through the roads that you trying to travel. You know how
Mm-hmm.
when you was younger, your mother would tell you, "I done been through the bridge you trying to cross," or an uncle would tell you something like that. So when you see people
Mm-hmm.
that done been through what you trying to been through, what you trying to get past, I think the best thing to do is really watch their movement instead of more what they
Watch the
saying.
movement.
Yeah,
That's
watch,
it.
watch. Forget because people will tell you anything, and that's the thing, and that's the reality about this. Because you'll talk to different people, and they'll tell you, "Well, how did you do it?" And then
Mm-hmm.
they'll be like, "Well, I did this, I did that." Nah, nah, it was God. That's how I got done. You know what I'm saying? It was God. Of
Yeah.
course, it was your hard work, but it was God is because people don't even know how they got. People don't even know. Even I'm sure if you speak to Elon Musk, he'll tell you a whole story. Well, we did the neutrons here, we did this. Listen, what's meant for you would always find you. You just got to keep pushing towards
That's
it.
it. That's it, Reggie.
Yeah,
I love your motivation. Yeah, I love that. That's really
yeah. You
good.
need you
Yeah.
need this. You need this in this type of world that
Mm-hmm.
that I'm trying to break into. It's more like it's almost as if it's like a delusional. a delusional attitude. Like you gotta, like and you see it in you see it in rare form when you look at other people, other artists.
Mm-hmm.
In order to, I mean, just think about it. You wake up one day, you say, "I'm gonna put out a TV show." Okay, you got to be delusional to take like some crazy stuff like that, because that's like a delusional job, but it's realistic. But you just got to have a delusional mindset. Like, I'm not going to listen to nobody, the naysayers, and none of that. I'm just going to keep doing what I do, and that's that.
Oh yeah, and a lot of successful people started that way. I mean, the owner of Amazon, you got people like the Steve Jobs from Apple, Michael Dell
Hmm.
from Dell Technologies. It all starts in with a small idea, and you just had to keep believing, like you say, praying, believing, and you'll see it come to pass with your hard work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look around anything, if you just you go outside and you look at the cars, you look at the buildings, you look at even that poster behind you. It all started with a thought. It started
Yeah.
here in the head, and then it
Yeah.
became reality.
Uh-huh.
So if you can wrap your mind around that, like none of this was here until people actually thought about it and put it together, then you can understand that
Mhm.
can really put things in perspective for you.
Yep, you are so right, Reggie. Now, getting
Hmm.
back to Kidults, Kidults, I love it. Kidults
Yeah,
TV,
kidults, KIDULT,
Kidults,
yes, yes. I
Kidults
just took, I
TV,
just took, I just took the K, I
Kid.
just took the kids and just added to put it together. But yeah, yeah. I thought it was cute, but I'm just an original. I like to think originally on things and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I love it. It matches what the show is trying to do. So why not?
It's four main characters, right? So tell
Yeah.
us about those characters. I know you're one of them, and I read
Yes.
that you have Bianca, Numa, and Charlie Kinter. Those are some of the characters. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, yeah. So, basically, again, Condos is based out of New York City. It's about four New Yorkers living, working, dating, doing everything, New Yorkers do in New York City. And it's just hilarious, man. I look at it and I'll be like, wow, this is really funny. And when you look at the characters, basically Charlie, he's like we grew up together, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and we still rocking to this day. He's trying to find himself at the moment. He's working at a McDonald's right now, trying to find himself. He has a college degree, but is in the wrong things and stuff like that.
Mm.
And then you got
Mm-hmm.
Bianca, played by Asia Zaffe, amazing talent. And Nikki Petito, he also plays Charlie Kenter. But Asia, she plays Bianca. Bianca was actually one of my school teachers' name, so I ran
Mm-hmm.
with that. Like she's one of a cool teacher I grew up that I went to school with, that was teaching me back in seventh grade when I went to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school. If you're in the Bronx, Holy Spirit. Shout out Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, I went. Listen, we used to be in church every day because when you go to Catholic school, you go to you pray. It's class core religion. We taking a real
Yeah.
class core religion. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll be in we'll do we learn the religion in the class. We go to the church downstairs, and then my mother and was deep into the church. So my family. So then on Saturdays, Sundays, I'll go to church too. So I'm prayed up. I'm all the way prayed up for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I,
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far, of course. But yeah, Bianca was one of my school teachers back in seventh grade. I thought she was so cool. So I said I'm gonna go with that. And Numu Trump, that's his name. Um he's like a hustler, what I'm saying? Like he sells like bootleg DVDs, bootleg pill, bootleg everything. Whatever you can get, he got it. And it's just hilarious with it, and it all came together. So it is amazing how it did too. But the cast, it's a real funny show. And if you got a chance, you should check it out.
Uh-huh. Guys, we moved into a new location this weekend, so things are a little, maybe a little offsetting tonight. So we do apologize for that.
No, it's
Reggie, are
all
you still
good.
with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. We got a new location. Everything. Yeah, I hear you just fine. Yeah, we hear you
Yeah,
fine.
good, good, good.
I was just explaining. We're in a new location where things are a little different, but go ahead, Reggie. We got Reggie Valles here with us, creator of Kiddos TV.
That's yes, yes, Cadotes. That's the name of the show. We on Instagram, Cadotes TV. You know, you can go there, follow us. You know, we got a couple of, videos. You can check it out. I got a couple of videos on YouTube, and we streaming across Tonic TV as well. So that's a good thing.
Awesome. Well, that's good to hear. That was going to be my next question. I was going to ask, where we can view the show and have you guys, are you trying to get picked up by a major network like Sirius XM or some of those guys?
Yeah, that's the plan. The plan is to shop it and get it picked up. Listen, I get it. Podcasts, is the way to go with a lot of people they doing. I'm even thinking about doing a Kados podcast. But the thing about the podcast game, it seems like it's becoming so chatty patty, right? Like everybody's gossiping more than just, you know,
Yeah.
giving you pure, you know, entertainment. Like the entertainment is the gossip. I guess everybody want clickbait. So that kind of like
Yeah.
deters me away from that a little bit. But whatever, teach his own. That's why it's good, refreshing to see someone like yourself out here, doing what you do, not on the whole, chatty patty train or I did this with this one and this one is doing that and just spreading these lies or stories, whatever to be seen. So whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like the lane that I'm in with adults, because there's no comedies on TV, right? Like when the last
Mm-hmm.
time you seen like a comedy on TV? And
That's
if you
true.
did, when's the last time you laughed at a comedy? Like even Friends, for example, and I watch Friends and I'm looking at it
Yeah.
and it's cool, but I'm not laughing. I'm not like,
Mm-hmm.
Now Seinfeld, was funny to me. The Cosby Show was funny. The
Mm-hmm.
Office was
Mm-hmm.
funny, but I think after The Office, we haven't
Martin,
seen
don't forget.
Martin. There you go, Martin. Of course, I mean, hilarious. You know, um, and then when you get past, but Martin was 1995 already. That was we talking about 30 something years ago. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when the last
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
we watched a comedy,
Yeah.
was able to watch a comedy on TV, one, and then watch something where we like laughing out loud, not just watching it and hey, this is interesting, but
Yeah.
this is cool. But like even if you
Yeah.
look at some of the genres they have, like when they give out Emmys or whatever, and they will put certain shows in the comedy section. Like for example, what's that show? I don't want to but I'm just using an example. But it's a show. It's like a chef show. And they cooking on it, whatever. And I'm watching and it's cool, it's good, but I'm not really laughing. Like
Oh,
it's supposed to be a comedy. So
is that
Kados
Bobby Flay?
Kados is bringing the funny back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kados is bringing the funny back to
That's
the.
what we need. We do need that. Yes, we
We
do.
need it. So I feel like I'm in a lane by
Mm-hmm.
myself, which I like
Mm-hmm.
because nobody's in my lane. Everybody else is doing
Yeah.
different. They either doing a podcast or they doing like these little skits. And I'm giving you a whole show
Yeah.
that you can enjoy and laugh at. And what's dope about it is the genius behind it is that I feel is that I'm speaking to everybody, not just black people or I'm speaking to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm here to get this. I'm here to get this money, baby. I'm here to get this cream. I mean,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, all this is cool, but I need this back. I came to get that. And when you look at a lot of these shows and and where they going and the direction they taking it, it's like my lane is so wide open. Like, So I think something's going to happen really soon with Cados, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, yes. And your show is aired every week? Is it a weekly? And so, if so, what time can we catch it?
Well, no, it's streaming, so you can watch it whenever you want. You know, it's on Tonic TV. It's on
Whenever.
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
can whenever you feel like you don't want to go in there and watch it. You know, you can go check out the first episode. I got the first episode up there. I don't have all the episodes up there. I just have one. You know, for now.
Mm-hmm.
We see how that go. And what I like about it is, and this is very important when you're doing these shows, especially when you start, trying to get your content out there, you want to get a non-exclusive. Let that be a
Okay.
key. You want non-exclusive. That way you can air it here and then you can air it there. So yeah, I got a non-exclusive deal with Tonic TV, but I can still have it on YouTube if I want. I can take it to
Mm-hmm.
CBS if I want. I can take it to Paramount, et cetera, et cetera. And that way, we can, branch it out everywhere. But I mean, if
Yeah.
the money right, and yeah, we can do it exclusive deal. So that's the beautiful thing about controlling and owning everything, is that
Mm-hmm.
you can call the shots about how you want it and how you want it done. So that's what I like about this. This is very important to me, that I was able to put up this money and get it done, and do it at the pace that I want to get done, because you want to, it's like you want to own something and continue to make money off it later
Yeah.
on as well.
Yes, of course you do. And as an executive producer, a lot of people don't even know exactly what that role consists of. So can you kind of,
Oh yeah,
we know what it is, but can you kind of explain to the viewers what that role is all about?
executive producer means that you have to get, there's any obstacles, you gotta fix it. You gotta, any problems, you gotta fix it. Any issues, you gotta fix it. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a situation where originally, when I first started, just decided to shoot Cados, because I shot it before. I had a whole different cast, and then somehow I forgot what happened with it, but I just remember saying, "All right, I'm firing everybody. I'm done with this. I'm firing everybody." And how I did it was, I just went to the Facebook page we had at the time, and I just posted, "Everybody's fired." I didn't call nobody. That's just how I did it, because I got tired of what was going on. So when you executive produce, you can do stuff like that. But but when I decided to shoot it again, I decided to get in contact with a DP, because I don't own any of this equipment. How they say you should own some equipment, blah blah blah. Listen, if you know how to, you know, I know how to lead, I know how to manage, I know how to talk, I know how to get things done. So I don't need to own the equipment,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But there's
Mm-hmm.
a lesson in that though. But you should own your equipment if you can, say, because everybody can't do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that you just
Exactly.
control as much of it as possible. And like I was saying, I had came across
Yes.
this guy who was referred to me by a friend of mine, and and it was during COVID when we decided to do this. So it was a crazy time to decide that, all right, we're gonna start shooting cadotes again. And I mean,
Yeah.
it was just weird because I had to get COVID. I remember doing Zoom interviews and doing Zoom castings, and you know, but what I noticed about Cadotes though, every time I put any type of stock into it, anytime I put any type of effort or energy to it, it doubles, it triples, as if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, like it's not a difficult thing. That's how you know when you're supposed to do something, when it just, oh wow, like this was, I'm not to say that it was easy, but you know things kind of like, it's, how they say, when they say with God, if you take one step, he'll take two. It's like one of them type things, you know what I'm saying? Like I was taking a step and he'll take two, three, four. So it was one of them type things. But I came across this guy, and we done, we shot everything. I picked the cast, we shot everything came together smooth, and he tried to keep the footage, okay? It's like, I think he try to get some more bread out of me or whatever the case may be. So here it is. I'm ready to
Mhm.
get. I'm
Mhm.
ready to move on because I'm ready to shoot the next episode. And he's talking about he's keeping the footage and da da da. So the first thing I did was I went to his house. Okay. I knocked on his door. I think it was like 9 in the morning because he wasn't answering none of my calls. And these are part of the things that executive producer got to do. So I went knocking on his door and I said, "Yo, homie, what's up, dog? I mean, what you thought?" And then he comes to the door with, with all the physical, like, with all that physical stuff. I'm looking at him like, really? You just like you don't want to. So, I wasn't smiling up there. And then he knew at that point, I can't play with this dude. Let me give him everything he needs.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to tell the whole story how I came. Like, oh, it's just us and the guns. Just open the door. Nah, nah, I'm just joking on that. But nah, but this is come on, this is your life work. You don't got time to be playing with these dudes. Like, come on, stop playing with me, man. So,
Yeah.
once I got
Yeah.
all the footage from him,
Mhm. Mhm.
it taught me a lesson though. Like after every shoot you do, if you working with people
Yeah.
who own the equipment, you got a DP or whatever. After every shoot, I don't care if it was a 5 minute shoot, I don't care if it was a 5 hour shoot, I don't care if it was a 1 day shoot. Get your footage at the end. Don't wait till later. Right there when you ain't in front of people, let me get my footage. Let me get everything I
Absolutely.
need. Send it to me. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that the hard way. So I'm cool with that.
Mhm.
So what ended up happening after I got rid of him, I had to recoup the cash, get everybody back on the right path, and I ended up coming across another um, DP, and he was like a godsend. It was like almost as if God brought him to me, and we sat down, and it was like a like seatbelts. We connected, and everything was like a go from there on in. And I can 100% trust him. And to this day, we still work together. I call him, I'm like, look, I need an edit for this, I need that, and it's a beautiful thing. And that's how it should be. You gotta like I said, you gotta trust your gut. Be hands on, and you gotta be able to fight through obstacles. And that's what it's about being an executive producer. Because you're gonna have
Oh
obstacles.
yeah.
You gotta have
Amen.
tons of them.
Amen. So time is really, yeah, that's it. That's true. Time is really
Yeah.
flown by. I can't really believe how much time is, really shot past us. So what's next for you, Reggie, after Kidults? What's next? Or have
Well,
you gotten that far with it?
no, no, listen, it's all about Kadosh right now. Of course, I have other things that I got lined up, ideas for movies and other shows. But, throughout my life, I was always better. I'm good with pressure. I am. I am. But I'm better when I'm focusing on one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And depending on, you
Right.
got to find out what works for you. What works for me might not work
One
for you. That's
thing.
why,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
true.
you can throw out all the jewels you want to people and tell them, you don't do it this or do it like that. Now you just got to find your niche, what works for you, and what works for me is, one project at a time. Listen, look, I don't even care at this point. I don't even care about being famous. I just know that adults do need me as far as acting.
Yeah.
But if I came across a network and they say, hey, Reg, listen, we
Mm-hmm.
love Cados, we want to do it, we want to green light it, but we want to swap you out for say someone else. You know what? I don't need the fame. You know what I'm saying? That being famous is whack. I don't even want to do that. Like, if you see what's going on out here, being famous is really, really whack. That it's like I know everybody want to be on their Instagram, but I knew back then that eventually it's just gonna get to a point where people gonna be posting less and people going to want to be less famous, because it's just so much going on out here, you know. But the show will be better if I'm running it.
That's true.
So my whole thing, if I'm on it, so the thing is, my plan is to, get Kados done and just, you know, and get other ideas done with it. But as far as Kados go, you know, my dream is to get a deal with, a major distributor And I took that picture. We was in Harlem when we took that. Yeah. My dream is to get a major distributor and treat my show and license it out. So for example, like Seinfeld, like to this day, and Seinfeld been off the air since '98, but to this day they get like hundreds of millions of dollars just licensing they show out to say a Netflix. And then after that 5 years is up, then they either re-up or they go to another situation. Then Paramount will come. Oh, sound you see how that goes? So that's the plan for me to, you know, put it out there where I can just keep making money off and I can just sit back and go retire somewhere, start a family and just chill, I like to travel, so I want to do more of that too.
Yeah.
I'm not with all the
Yes.
working
All
hard.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm with the working smart part.
Yeah.
You know?
I hear you, Reggie. Reggie, we thank you again for being on the show. Time is up. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Guys, check out Kidults. Kidults. It's on
Yes.
YouTube. And what's the other place it's on?
Yes, Tonic TV. You can check us out there. Also, Instagram, Cados TV. Check it out. Just laugh. If you want to laugh, you having a little day, you want to, it's a little somber, you feeling low about something, watch Cados. I promise you'll put a smile on your face.
Oh, that is so good. Ladies and gentlemen, creator, executive producer, Mr. Reggie Bias right here on Bringing in the House. We'll see you guys back here next time. Thank you.